What is up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. This is Brad with Be and Chill. Today I want to talk about Epic's lawsuit against Apple. They allegedly are asking for Apple to give them special permission to have a special app that users can download from the internet onto their device without having to go through the App Store. And the reason they want to do this is because they can bypass Apple's 30% cut through the revenue share program they have for developers. So there's a couple important things to know here. I am an application developer. I make iPhone and Android applications for the company that I work for. I'm not going to disclose which company that is, but I have a pretty good understanding of, the intricacies of these different markets between Android and iOS. And as a avid gamer, I have good knowledge of the other platforms and kind of what entails when you make an app for those platforms. So first thing I want to get started, I want to say I touched on Apple takes a 30% cut from all apps. It is important to note here that Google also takes a 30% cut, Steam 30%, Xbox 30%, PlayStation 30%. Rumors say Nintendo takes a 30% cut, but there's no official information on that because they have NDA agreements, which are non-disclosure agreements. So it's pretty safe to assume you could expect 30% from them as well, since that's a standard in the industry. Unreal Engine, which is made by Epic, they only take a 5% cut after your first million in sales. So while this is a much more generous offering, they are still taking a percentage cut, which kind of counteracts their point, because Unreal Engine is made by Epic Games, for those that do not know. So, going back to Apple, why does Apple do this? Well, they have the standard of security, really, in the mobile industry. There's no device more secure than an iPhone. Yeah, there are flaws and bugs that come out from time to time. However, it's safe to say that iPhone and the App Store is the safest place, safest market for apps that you can download onto, any mobile device, or really any technology device for that matter, be it computers, tablets, whatever. Now, for some power users, this is pretty restrictive, because, sometimes there's an app that you can get on Android, like video game emulators or things like that might break Apple's terms of service. And since they lock these devices down so much, you won't be able to download them. However, I still think the pros outweigh the cons. You don't have to worry about virus scanning your phone, things like that. So I'd say it's justified that Apple takes the cut that they do, just like everybody else, and they've really turned around and created the best marketplace to do so. And Epic has asked them to completely bypass the same agreement that they have for all other developers, and they want to allow users to download this Epic Games Store on their phone from the internet from an untrusted source, according to Apple. And it would really just break the whole norm for Apple phones to be able to just download an app on the internet. Yes, you can do that through some shady third-party things. You can download emulators online and you can put the app on your phone, but the developer certificate has to be renewed every 7 days, so you have to reinstall it every 7 days, which is kind of a hassle. And it's generally without jailbreaking. There's not really a good way to put unofficial apps on your phone. Epic has essentially asked Apple to allow the installation of applications from the internet on the user's phone, which has very bad implications for people that go on the internet and might not know what they're downloading. And it's really just kind of hurts one of their big selling points, which is security, usability, reliability. You can download an app, you're going to be fine. That, your phone's not going to break, somebody's not stealing your credit card information, things like that. But as soon as you allow them to install applications from the internet, all of that goes out the window. Now, I'm sure Epic is, the way they've been saying, they're kind of implying that they want special permission to be the only application that's allowed to do this. But we all know that a violation like that of the terms of service, a special agreement, would imply that other developers have legal standing to do the same thing. if Apple were to approve it for this one company, developers could sue Apple and say, you did it for Epic, now do it for me. And that would hurt them legally, as it would kind of give other developers a leg to stand on, I guess. So, all around, it's just a bad idea for Apple to do this. Some other things to keep in mind is every time you upload an app to Apple Store, it has to be manually vetted by a real human being. And developers all do have to pay the same $95 or $99, somewhere it's around $100 a year to create apps. To get a developer license, you have to make them on a Mac machine. You have to have a MacBook or Mac Mini or whatever you use to have Xcode to compile the apps. And you have to pay that $100 yearly fee to be able to do that. And that $100 yearly fee, in addition to the 30% revenue share, is what pays for these applications to be vetted by real humans. And they do reject applications. They will go in, they're very thorough, and they will find anything that breaks their terms of service or any hidden code, anything you try to do that the end user doesn't know about or violates Apple's terms of service or is malicious in any way. They will find it and they will refuse to update or publish your application until you resolve those issues. So, that's very valuable. And other companies like Google, for instance, they kind of let anything go into the market. And they still charge the 30% revenue share. I'm not sure what their yearly developer fee is. I think it's less if there is one. But, they don't vet these applications the same. You don't even really have to get the applications off the Google Play Store. You can go online, you can order them, or you can download APKs without having to go through a similar process like jailbreaking. You can root your phone. It's not really necessary for downloading APKs. But jailbreaking, they've cracked down on it. It's still possible, but it's more difficult than it used to be. And most people, you spend a lot of money on an iPhone, you don't want to jailbreak it because, it causes a lot of bugs and software issues, and it just makes the phone less enjoyable to use for normal activities. Generally, that's my opinion. Other people might have different opinions, but that's how I feel about it. So it would be nice if Apple loosened up and let some apps in, like emulators and things like that, but I don't think that's going to happen, and I don't think it's worth sacrificing the App Store's quality control that it has today. So, that's why Apple knows why they can, take this to court and fight this, because Epic doesn't really have a leg to stand on. Epic, they prepared for this. They had, marketing videos and things ready to go as soon as they sent this, and they tried to paint themselves in a good light. And really they're just trying to make Apple look bad, which I think has had the opposite effect. For most people, besides the kids that these ads are targeting, trying to paint them in a better light, I'd say most people can tell that, Epic is the bad guy here, and, they wouldn't be trying to do any of this if it wasn't going to put more money in their pocket. And that's really their primary motivator, no matter how much they paint it as helping other developers. It's just not true, and it's really shady. They're claiming that they can put this launcher on your phone, Epic Games Launcher, which will have games like Fortnite and whatever other mobile games they have, if they even have one. If they don't have other mobile games, I say it makes them look even worse, because they want to have this store launcher on the phone to just launch one game. It is clearly a scam. So, they have Unreal Engine games, but, anybody can download Unreal Engine. Anybody can make apps with that. So it really, really doesn't make any sense for them to want this. And they're also claiming that they can uphold the security standards and code standards that Apple is notorious for, which is just, not going to be possible without Apple employees. You're not going to be able to, have the same level of quality control, the interminglings of the different departments at Apple that all come together to make things work. And, Apple's not going to, contract out their employees to Epic to help them build this thing that they didn't even want in the first place. So it just doesn't make any sense. Epic is, there's no way they could make software that would be just as secure without the Apple developer tools, because, Apple makes the hardware of these devices. They've built everything from the ground up for these devices. They run on a specific operating system, iOS, iPad OS, whatever, just made for these devices, which Epic has, no knowledge of the inner workings of, and they're claiming that they can utilize it as securely as Apple. It's just not possible. It doesn't make any sense. Really, they just want to avoid this 30% cut, get more money in their pocket, and they're going to go to court. We'll see how it plays out. I think me and everybody else is pretty safe to assume that they're not going to win. They're just trying to drag it out. It might be years before we even see an outcome of this, but one thing is for certain, that unless they change their procedures lately, we're probably not going to see Fortnite back on the iPhone until they change their mind and decide they're okay with the 30% cut. But Apple has terminated their developer license due to repeated infractions, and they updated their app to bypass Apple's in-app purchases to avoid the 30% cut. And Apple saw that, and they were like, no, we're going to take your app off. You can fix it. They didn't. And so they have terminated their developer license. So, there's a chance, even if they change their mind, that Apple's going to be like, look, I don't care. You're not going to put your app back on the store. So, we'll see what happens. And Google's doing the same thing. They're pulling the apps from their app stores. So Epic has really kind of shot themselves on the foot here. I'm sure they make a lot of revenue from mobile. There's 500 million weekly visitors to the App Store, 2.2 million iOS apps out there. They're just losing a large market share of for no reason, really. So, we'll see how it plays out. But, sit back, grab some popcorn, and see what happens. I think, any sensible developer is going to side with Apple in this case. And, I hope the law is on their side. So that's about all I've got for today. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, this is Brad from Being Chill. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you like the content. I would make more content. I would try to release as often as possible. So, yeah. Have a good night. Peace.